let's go back to the late 90s. Keep in mind, I was living in northern Alberta at this time, but my heart absolutely broke when I watched the Jets leave to Arizona, Phoenix. Absolutely broke. It was one less Canadian team. And keep in mind, I was one of those kids that kept all of their hockey cards in a large stack with elastics around it, and I alphabetized them. So W, Winnipeg, was at the bottom. So it was, everything in the middle got lost. So I was always at the top, at the bottom, checking through, going through, adding, whatnot. Hockey card kid. Eventually got to shoe boxes where I would organize them. But the Winnipeg Jets, and growing up in northern Alberta, was an Oiler fan growing up. And so always saw the Jets in the first round of the playoffs. And they were just, they were a staple. They were an absolute staple. It's like, all right, we're going to see the Jets in the first round. So as much as I didn't cheer for the Jets when I was a kid, because I was an Oiler fan, the Jets were just a thing. And when I became a teenager, I was graduating high school, and they left. And I didn't really understand it properly until I moved to Winnipeg. And I moved to Winnipeg in 2003. So we're a good 5-6 years after the Jets left. And we had the Manitoba Moose. And I worked with the Manitoba Moose. I went to the old Winnipeg Arena before what is now Canada Life Center was built in downtown Winnipeg in the old footprint of the Bay Building, or the Sears Building.
Eaton Center,
Sears?
no?
Eaton Center, yes, thank you. So I was there for the aftermath, and I was there for the heartbreak and the save our Jets and bring our Jets back, and the Manitoba Moose, who were the absolute crown jewel of the American Hockey League. I was the in-house announcer for the Manitoba Moose, and every time there was a league meeting, it was like, all right, let's see what the Moose are doing, because they're going to set the trend, and we're just going to follow whatever they do. And when they came back, I was here for that. And that's when I really got it. Because I was a big proponent of, hey, listen, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. You got the American Hockey League. You've got a competitive team. You got a great team. It's well supported. We got 8,800 people a night. We're selling it every night. Maybe we're not big enough. And I was a big one to say, you know what, maybe we don't need the NHL. But when I came back, that's when I really got it. And I understood. Now, I'm saying all that because Gary Bettman, the first big move that he made as commissioner of the National Hockey League was to move the Jets out of Winnipeg down to Phoenix. And it was a bold move. Now, keep in mind, Gary Bettman was not hired by the fans. He was hired by the owners. And he's been doing that gig for 30-plus years. And if he was doing a bad job, he may not be doing a great job for the fans, but if he was doing a bad job for the owners, he would have been canned by now. He's doing a great job. Owners are making money. But now we're in a situation where the Coyotes have been bleeding money to the point where nobody wants to take them on as tenants. They've been playing at the Mullet Arena, which is ASU, Arizona State University, the hockey team there. They've been playing there for a couple of years. 4,500 seat capacity. The Jets had a hard time getting an NHL team because we were 15-5, and that's bare minimum. Bare minimum as far as
just for a little bit of contrast, yours truly, who's played in the FPHL, practicing the FPHL, whatever you want to call it. I've played in arenas bigger than the Coyotes arena, just for some context.
Right, exactly. Especially when you go to bingo, right?
Yeah, Binghamton, Mississippi, we had almost 10,000 seats. So the Coyotes are doing 4,500, just for a little bit of context there.
Great example. So they've been playing out of the Mullet Arena. Now the idea is that, hey, listen, we're going to make a pitch for a plot of land. We're going to build a $1 billion arena, compound, apartments, condos, shopping, entertainment, just in North Phoenix, right on the edge of Scottsdale. It's going to be great. But it's about 3 years away. So we want to keep playing at Mullet Arena until then. And now the idea is like, no, the owners are not down with that. They're not down for the next 3 years of supporting this fledgling team. So the idea is within this week, when this podcast drops, within the next 5 days, when the season ends, they're going to announce the Arizona Coyotes are going to be moving to Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, where the Utah Jazz and the NBA play, sharing an arena with them. And here's the messed up part. I'm kind of okay with that. I get it. I think there are more deserving cities. Quebec City, number one. Kansas City, number 2, even Saskatoon, even Regina. And you know how I feel about Regina.
You don't like them.
There are more deserving cities to get, even Hamilton. There are St. John's, Moncton. There are more deserving cities that could support a hockey team, and they want to put it in a unproven city. I'm okay with it because they've proven that the desert does not want hockey. But here's the messed up part. They want to move it to Utah, where it will stay, and then in 3 years, when they build that billion-dollar arena, Phoenix will get an expansion team back. That I don't get. That's the part that baffles me. We've proved. There's rumors that they're going to go back to Atlanta for the 3rd time. Why are we trying to force hockey into markets that don't want it? It doesn't make sense to me. There are cities that are begging for it, and they won't give them to them. That's the part of the league, and I understand they do not have a Red Cross above their door. I understand. Gary Bettman is there to make the money. Phoenix obviously proved they cannot make money. They can't. They're bleeding money. So why would you want to put a team back there? It's the 3rd largest market in North America. I get it, but why?
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. We do a new podcast every single Sunday during the season called Sling the Biscuit. It is a non-mainstream hockey podcast, so we talk about my hockey career, the minor pros, Spain, the Fed, you name it, all the stuff that you won't hear in the mainstream news.
Music,
Pop culture.
politics, a little bit.
Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.